Chapter 8. The Hunters Close In. I feel stupid, said Professor Jelly, trying to yank the tweed skirt over his knobbly knees. This is really itchy. I don't see why I had to dress up as a woman. I told you, grunted Grimstone, we don't want Mr. Freeze to recognise you. Remember that he's seen you once already. Please try and keep still, Jelly. How do you expect me to keep an eye on the van with all that joggling about? The two men were sitting on Grimstone's moped some way up the road from the ice cream van. When Professor Jelly had told Grimstone of his good luck in finding Cenopod, they had put a rapid plan into action. For the last 3 hours they had sat there watching Mr. Freeze. Grimstone was holding up a newspaper. There was a carefully torn hole in the centre through which he was trying to watch the van. Professor Jelly went on fidgeting nervously. He'd left his sweets in his own clothes and he really missed them. He felt very self-conscious wearing a lady's tweed suit, a long brown wig and a little hat with a feather perched on top. You might have let me have a beard and a moustache, he complained. There weren't any left in the disguise shop. And stop wriggling. I think he's packing up. Grimstone pressed the starter on the moped and prepared to follow the van. Sure enough, Mr. Freeze began to move up the street, and Grimstone followed at a discreet distance. Within seconds there was a startled shriek in his left ear, and he almost swerved onto the pavement. My hat's blown off, squeaked Professor Jelly. Don't go so fast. It will be the wig next. It's twisting round. I can't see a thing. Stop! I can't stop, you fool. We'll lose the van. Just hold on to your wig, will you? Grimstone tried to shut his ears to the non-stop moans and groans and squeaks and squawks that continued to come from the professor as he fought with his wig, his skirt, his shoes and his balance. Finally, the van stopped outside the Lightspeed's house. The moped screeched to a halt at a safe distance. Professor Jelly wrestled angrily with Grimstone's back and the moped before he managed to disentangle himself from the seat. He went stomping off down the road to find his hat. By the time he got back, Grimstone was once more stuck behind his newspaper. He's just gone into 27, he hissed. Professor Jelly plonked himself back on the moped and sulkily asked if Grimstone had seen Cenopod yet. Grimstone eyed his partner. No, but you've smudged your lipstick. It looks as if someone has whacked you in the mouth. I hate this game. Professor Jelly stamped one shoe angrily and the heel slid between the slats of a drain cover. It stuck fast. He tugged on his leg, but it was well and truly jammed, so he gave an almighty heave. The heel broke off, sending him toppling backwards off the moped. Professor Jelly fell in the road and his blonde wig fell in the gutter. He grabbed it quickly and pulled it back onto his head, only to discover that he had now half a mouldy banana skin squashed between the wig and his bald skull. He was about to scream with 100% frustration when Grimstone stiffened and pointed a finger through the hole in the paper. Look, look! The door of number 27 had opened and there was the pharaoh himself. Cenopod stood in his robe and crown and beard, gazing majestically up and down Templeton Terrace. He looked every inch a king of ancient Egypt. He slowly bent down, picked up 2 milk bottles from the doorstep and disappeared back inside. Bingo! Cried Grimstone. We found him. The treasure is as good as ours now. Does that mean we can go home? Asked Professor Jelly. And in answer to this, Grimstone started up the moped and they set off once more. What do we do next? Shouted the professor, clinging to his hat and wig. We can't just go in there and kidnap him. Grimstone chuckled quietly. Of course we can't. I have a much better plan. We are going to get Cenopod to come right back to the museum itself when nobody else is around. And once he's there, he'll be ours and we can do what we like with him. We shall not only get the treasure map, we'll have a real pharaoh. Imagine the money we can make showing him to the public. But how on earth will you get him to come back? Demanded the professor. Easy as pie. This is what we'll do. Chapter 9, tomorrow.